Good day guys, Victifreak here and welcome back to another drawing tutorial. So we're in that time of year again when we're starting to get some new leaks and new official announcements of new Pokemon for the upcoming Pokemon games. And just a few hours ago, at the time of this recording, the Pokemon YouTube channel officially released a trailer for a new form for Lycanroc. So this new form was leaked a few days ago, so we've known about its existence for a while. We never really knew if it was legitimate or not, but it is, and that is Lycanroc Dusk Form. So it's kind of like a fusion of the midday and midnight Lycanroc forms. So yeah, I actually really like this form. It looks really nice, and I really like the orange color. It's kind of like a nice sunset, kind of dusky orange, and yeah, so that is what we'll be doing today. So I will be drawing today with Copic markers just because this, especially the orange, is very bright and it's very vibrant, so we're going to be using Copic markers. Of course, if you don't have Copic markers and you want to color in with color pencils, that's totally fine, of course, and it doesn't have to be, you know, color pencils. Maybe just have different markers, or maybe just don't want to color in at all. That's totally fine. So these are the colors that we'll be using today. So alright, so I have here 4 of the base colors, the main colors for Lycanroc, and I have a few other colors that are going to be used only for shading. So here we have this Y38 Copic marker, so this is going to be for the orange fur. Now this is actually much more orange than the cap makes it look, but yeah, so that's going to be for the base of the orange. And then we also have this W5, so that's a gray, so basically just a mid-tone gray, and that's going to be for the kind of like the tips of the fur and like the rock kind of parts coming out of the fur that you see in the midday Lycanroc as well as the claws, the nose, and kind of like the tip of the ear and some of the fur. We also have this pink, so this is for the inside of the ear, just a fairly normal, slightly desaturated kind of pink. And then we have just a normal mid-tone green, so that's going to be for the eye. So those are the main colors. Now we have here 3 colors for shading. So we have a W3, so that's a fairly light gray, not super light, but lighter than the last gray. And that's going to be for shading the white fur. And here we have a W7, so this is a even darker gray. So all of these grays, by the way, I should probably mention, they're not really a bluish kind of gray, they're more of a warm, slightly more on the orange side. It's not really, but it's more of a warm gray than a cold one. So this is just for shading the other gray at the beginning, so that's gonna be fairly dark. And then we have a orange. This is just another orange, again for shading the base orange from before, so this is going to be fairly dark. You get the idea. So I think we'll just move on. Of course, we're also going to need a pencil. I have a mechanical pencil here, eraser, and a multi-liner for the Copic. So if you have a Copic marker, if you're going to color in with Copic marker, I recommend that you use a Copic multi-liner, because then these you know that they're not going to bleed. These are bleed proof, unlike if I use a normal outliner and I were to color in with Copic markers, then the ink, the outliner might bleed, and that's not going to look very good. So if you're coloring in with Copic, be sure to use a Copic multi-liner. Alright, so let's get to sketching. Alright, so we're gonna need to get a rough idea of what this is gonna look like. So let's see. So we're gonna have, it's gonna be, get your paper and make sure that's landscape, because it's gonna be fairly wide, the drawing. So let's see. I think around the middle of the the middle of the page and towards the right quite a bit. We're gonna have the head, so make sure not to make it too big because we want space for the leg on our right here. So we just have a head maybe around here. So just make a circle. Just make a circle there. And yeah, it looks pretty good. And we're gonna have the body coming out roughly around, maybe around here. Again, leave some space on the left because we're gonna need some space for the tail, very big furry tail. So, alright, I'm gonna have a leg here, just very rough shapes. Of course, it's gonna look kind of odd for now. Doesn't really look like anything at the moment, but bear with me. We're gonna keep adding stuff to it. So here we're gonna have another leg coming out here, slightly lower than the back leg that we drew because it's closer to us. And then we're gonna have its other front leg coming out pretty straight and somewhere around here. So basically higher than, it's a little bit higher than the end of this foot here. And there's gonna be another leg back here that we see around here. Alright, looks very strange at the moment, but we will get to making it look more animal-like, I guess. Because this doesn't really look like anything at the moment. Alright, so let's see, we're just drawing another circle at the back. So this is basically where the fur is going to be. It's gonna be a lot of fur coming out from behind its head. Maybe around here. Like so. And we're gonna have, let's just draw this a bit thicker. And I think this leg here might actually be a little longer. Something like that around here. Alright, we want to just get a really rough sketch. Make sure not to press hard, because we're as we start adding detail, we're gonna start adding more pressure to make the pencil more dark. So we're gonna have the tail somewhere around here. And we're just gonna make maybe not that high. Something like that. So that's gonna be the tail there. Alright, yep, something like that. So now I think we'll maybe start adding a bit more detail to maybe the head. So let's start, let's give Lycanroc here a snout. So around here, I'm gonna give it a more canine-like feature. Of course, we're gonna need the snout. So here we go, just cut in. So it's not going to be taking up the entire circle that we drew here at the beginning, but let's start adding maybe, let's start with the ear. Pretty big ear right here. We want to make the left line here more vertical than one on the right. And I think we're going to have some fur coming out here. Just very rough. Alright, and it's gonna be another ear somewhere around here. You can see the tip there. I think we're gonna make the head a little higher, so we'll just raise the snout and the bottom of the head. And let's start adding some more fur here. So just add a little spike here, bigger one in the middle. Make sure this line here overlaps the one over here. And another line here overlapping the last. Smaller than the last as well. And right here, I'm gonna go past the bottom of its head a little, and we're gonna go up and straight line here, and I'm gonna go down, curving, following the snout, maybe getting a little closer, curve up again, make sure that it curves out, it curves around towards the left, and then we're gonna have another curve again, curving the same way. So remember that if there is going to be two curves, or it's a straight line but it's curved due to perspective, it's always going to be curving the same way. It's never going, if it's a parallel line, unless you're looking straight forward, unless you're looking straight forward, the line will always be bending the same way. It's never going to be like this or like that. Alright, so these lines are curving the same way here. And we'll give it a mouth as well, so it's just gonna be a little curve here. And let's just draw in the eye now. So somewhere around here where we have the little edge here, we're gonna curve down a little, make a little curve, and just big semicircle, pretty big eye. And we're just gonna draw one more in it. Let's make the face a little more narrow. Yeah, let's make it a little narrower. So we'll just bring this up. Alright, so start adding more detail to places like, let's just do the ear then. So we're just gonna have a triangle in here, curved bottom, and just curve it back. Make sure that there's more space between the lines on the right and the left, because of course due to perspective you're gonna see more on this side. It's gonna be line there. Alright, and let's draw another line here. Something about the eye is bugging me. I don't know what. I think I might have, not sure if I made it too small, but something seems off. So I'm just gonna redo that. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, looks good enough. And let's see, there's gonna be some fur coming out here. Basically the same fur on this side. Alright, and there's gonna be some fur down here as well. And let's start drawing more of the big fur. So there's just gonna be a lot of big, not really sure what you call it, but just a lot of fur coming out here. Alright, and let's see, what next? We'll just keep drawing more fur then, I guess. So this is going to be a lot of fur looking like this, just popping out here and there. And we're also going to have 4 spikes coming out, so kind of coming out like a cross, like so, behind the head. So they're just going to be triangles with a line somewhere in there, because it's going to be pointed. Yeah, we're just gonna be drawing a lot of fur this time. Alright, so that's it with the fur. So I guess there are a few things to be careful of with what I just drew here. So I guess just be aware of the proportions. So when you're about to draw some part, look at where it's positioned relative to another thing that you already drew. Is it level to that object? Is the tip of it the same height, or is it lower or higher than an already existing part? So it's good to just look at where you're going to draw it before you do, and try to find little hints such as lines that are actually connected that you don't actually see. That will help you a lot. So what I mean by that is, for example, this line here, how you know that you want this to be perfect is that it's gonna line up with this one. So just draw a line that's connected, a connected line here, because these lines are actually one line. So just draw a light line that goes between the two, and if it's, if it's curved well, then that's good. So you just have to look a little carefully to find little hints that will help you get some nice lines. Alright, so next let's see, I think we'll do the leg then. Let's do the leg right here. So like I said before, be aware of where it's going to be. So the leg will start around here, so a little more to the left of the middle of the bottom line of the fur here. So around here, I'd say. And it's just gonna come out like this, and it's gonna go pretty low. It's gonna go lower than anything that we've drawn so far, and So that means it would have to be lower than the tip of the fur here. Alright, and it's gonna come out pretty far. It's gonna come out further than anything else as well. So that means that we're gonna have to make this a bit more horizontal. Something like that. Alright, and before we draw the paw, so it's gonna become more horizontal, obviously, for the paw. And that's going to happen a little further past this line here. So, yeah, just somewhere around here, I'd say. We'll have a vertical line. And let's have the other leg. So the other leg will be coming out around here. And then we're gonna have the paw. That's gonna go up a little. And let's just draw a diagonal line here. I'm gonna have the claws. Like so. And I'm gonna have a line around here. Remember, it's going to be curved the same way. It has to be curving the same way. Alright, that looks pretty good. So now let's see. Let's just check that it's lower. Yep, that's considerably lower. Alright, so next we'll do the other leg. So that would be this one right here. So we're going to have the leg coming out from around here. Alright, again it's going to be lower than anything else, and the top of the paw is basically going to begin, I don't know. I think I might fix this up a little. I think I might have made it a little too horizontal, and I think I wanted to be more vertical than what I made it. So I'm just gonna fix that up quickly. So it's okay to make mistakes, because this is the sketch. So you want to be able to fix anything up before you start outlining. Alright, so I made it fairly lower, so I'm gonna have the other paw, so that's gonna be around here. And again, it's gonna be basically the same thing. Alright, next we'll do the other leg back here. So pretty much at this corner, I'm gonna have another line coming out, and come around here. I'm gonna have the paw again. I'm just gonna be underneath the fur here. Alright, so that was the hind leg that we just drew. So that's gonna come up. I'm gonna draw a line that follows. That's gonna come up around here. It's gonna curve up like that. And we're gonna draw the body now. So from around here, from the fur, I'm gonna have a curved line go around here. Maybe not even that far. Yeah. just gonna go around here, and it's gonna end a little further than the tip of the fur here. And we're gonna have the leg there, and we'll also do the back here. Alright, and so we'll just finish up the hind leg there. So there's gonna be just 2 lines coming around here. And there's actually going to be another line, very little line here. Like so. Alright. And so over here we're gonna have the leg. It's gonna end a little higher than the front leg right there. So it's gonna end somewhere around, yeah, maybe just around here. It's basically gonna be between these 2 front legs. Alright, so that's the last leg done, and we're just gonna have some lines coming out here. Alright, so now the only thing we have left to do is the tail. So it's gonna be pretty simple, it's just gonna be basically what we already have, except some fur coming out, poking out here and there. Alright, so that's it with the drawing. So now, as per usual, I'm going to, before outlining, I'm just gonna rub everything out lightly and erase any lines that I wouldn't need, that I wouldn't be outlining, and just rub all of the pencil out lightly so that it's lighter, so it's less dark, so that I can easily distinguish what I've already outlined and what I haven't for later on. So it's just gonna make things much easier. And once I finish outlining everything, then I will wait and just let the ink dry before I rub out any of the pencil, because if the ink is still wet and you're rubbing out anything, if you're rubbing over it with the eraser, then obviously the ink is gonna smudge and then you won't be able to get rid of it, so that's no good. So we want to make sure the ink is dry before we rub out any of the pencil. Alright, so now that I have finished outlining and I let the ink dry, we are ready to start coloring in. So we're gonna start with the base colors. So these are going to be the first four colors I showed you. So I think we'll start off with let's start off with the gray first, actually. Or as in the gray, this is not the gray for the fur, but this is going to be the base gray for places like the tip of the fur and the rocks and the claws and stuff like that. So basically we're just going to be filling all of the base colors with these, and then we're just going to go over with the other colors to shade. So we're going to be using this for the tip of the fur here. We're gonna be using it for the tip of the ears, the four rocks poking out, and all of the claws, and the nose. Alright, so that's it with the gray. So now we'll move on to the orange. So we're gonna get the base orange, and we are going to fill in some of the fur. So that's going to be areas such as the upper part of the head, so not the snout, so just this area, including the bottom of the ears and the fur on the side, and the upper half of the legs, so here, and some lines in there, and the body as well. And after we do that, then I think we'll do the eyes and the ears as well. Actually, we'll probably just do that all together as well. So we're also going to do the green, so that's just going to be the eyes. So that's going to be the middle, this area. And we also have the pink, and that's going to be for the inside of the ear. Alright, so that's it with all of the base colors, and you probably could tell that with the inside of the ears I just used the same color to add layers to just give it a bit of shading, just with that one color though, didn't use anything else. And with the eye, if you would like, if you have a colorless blender, you could give the eye a bit more life by just putting a little dot under the eye to add a bit of light. But don't overdo it though, because if you do, then the green color will bleed past the outline, and you don't want that. Alright, so next, or actually, yeah, so now all we have to do is use the shade colors, the shading colors. So I think we'll start off with the gray. So this is the darkest gray, and we're going to use this to shade the first gray that we used. And so that's gonna be used for places such as just adding some shade underneath the triangles, and with the face it's mostly going to be there's going to be like a shadow right here, so some of the nose as well, and the hind leg back there as well. So it's just going to be a little bit of darkening here and there, as well as the pupil of the eye. We're also going to be doing that. Alright, done with the gray, and now we'll do the orange. So with the orange, we're gonna be shading places such as the under the belly there, and the hind leg back there, a bit of the leg here and here, and we're gonna be doing the face. So this is gonna be like a round area of just a shadow around here on the face, and just a bit on the ear back there as well. So now we have one color left to use, and that is the light gray, and that's going to be for shading the white fur. So we're going to be using this on places such as a bit on the tail here, just a bit on the legs here and there, and of course on the fur as well. And it's pretty much the same as what we've been doing the whole time, and of course the face as well, we're gonna be shading a lot of that. And yeah, so once we finish that, then we'll be done. Alright, we're done! Lycanroc Dusk Form is complete! So, be sure to hit that like button down below if you enjoyed this drawing tutorial, and if you drew along with me, tell me how did your drawing of Lycanroc Dusk Form go? And yeah, if you have any suggestions for future drawing tutorials, please let me know in the comment section below. But I'm not quite sure how long it will be until I'll actually draw them, because like I said at the beginning, we are getting into the time of year when we're going to be getting a lot of leaks and official announcements of new Pokemon, so I will most likely be drawing them for a while. But yeah, be sure to subscribe to keep up to date to those future drawing tutorials and drawing videos, and as usual, I will see all of you beautiful people next time.